Congratulations, you've discovered the lost level.
Hello and welcome to the Lost Level episode 102. My name's Chris. With me is Alex.
Hello.
And Adam is unfortunately not here today, but we wanted to do a Lost Level episode because we just actually realized that we haven't done a Lost Level episode since E3.
Yeah, that's been kind of a long time ago, hasn't it?
That is ridiculous. Like, I don't know what happened there. We just had a big lull there in terms of games and stuff coming out, and then
No, just news in general. It's just been a bunch of movie reviews at this point. A lot of movies to watch and talk about.
yeah, so we decided that we were going to switch gears a little bit and start doing some movie reviews and see how that goes. We added stuff to the YouTube channel and just kind of been doing our own little thing in the movie world. And wanted to always, we would had the Lost Level episodes in the back of our minds, and just we haven't gotten together.
Yeah, that's
to
essentially what
record.
it is.
So rather than trying to get all three of us in the same room, we're just like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just record another episode and start getting it back on a regular basis. So with that all being said, let's start off with video game news.
Okay, well, first off with video game news, these two stories kind of go hand in hand. Metal Gear creator Hideo Kojima leaves Konami after 29 years officially. Now, there's that whole controversy of him getting kicked out or whatever, but it wasn't until very recently that he officially left, and there was like a going away party and all that stuff.
Okay.
But then, shortly after that news story broke, Konami comes out and says, well, Kojima hasn't left, he's just on a vacation. Along with the rest of the crew. They're just on a really long vacation. And when asked about the party, they're like, yeah, we don't know what that was. Like a going away party? Like, we're not really sure what that was all about.
That is...
So...
There sounds like really good communication right now at Konami, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, also coming off the news of them killing Silent Hills because Kojima was leaving, it's like... We're getting very mixed signals here. What are we supposed to expect?
Is Konami in denial?
I don't know, because from everything I'm hearing, Konami's just done with gaming because they have a huge market when it comes to gambling machines in Japan and stuff like that. They make a lot of the revenue off of that, so gaming has become really just second tier to them, to the point where it seems like they're abandoning it completely. But to say that no, Kojima's still with us, it's like that's not what we've been hearing for the past X amount of months.
That is the strangest thing. No, he's just on vacation. Like, what?
It's like that Family Guy joke where it's Germany joking like, oh no, we were invited into Poland. It's total denial.
That's crazy. I don't understand that at all. I saw that news story when I was going through my Twitter feed. I was like, what the hell is going on over there? And it's, you know what? Honestly, it's strange too, because you saying that Konami is not really focused in on doing video games anymore. They want to do other things. It kind of just makes me think like, shit, man. I've known Konami since I started playing games.
Yeah, I mean, they were a staple in the original NES era.
Yeah,
they were a huge name.
The Konami code is forever known by any gamer.
It's a meme on the internet. There's various websites that you can go on and hit in the Konami code, and special stuff will happen.
Yeah,
do that shit on Google, and something will happen.
It's just Konami is aligned with gaming forever. So the fact that they would be considering we're just going to do this other thing, it's weird.
Well, what have they been producing?
I don't know.
Exactly. It's been Metal Gear Solid, which was in production for years.
Right.
And, obviously cost them a lot of money. It's, obviously a popular game as well. It's been talked about and heralded by so many reviewers. It's, me and Adam were speaking its praises not too long ago.
Yeah, so I mean, if you guys want to know their first impressions of that, we actually have a podcast out on lostlevel.com. Check that out.
Yeah.
Adam and Alex share their thoughts.
But I mean, outside of that, it was Castlevania 2 was the game before that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure there's something else between those, possibly, maybe, but it's nothing that's worth mentioning. So their focus obviously isn't on video games. It's these gambling machines that they're been pumping out and putting out in Japan.
That's just crazy. I don't know. That's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, there's speculation that maybe there's just going to focus more on mobile gaming because games like that are cheap and easy to produce. But if they're expecting Kojima to land on that, I don't really think that's his scene.
No, I would think that they would have announced if Kojima was actually on vacation, there would be something in the pipeline that'd be like, yeah, Kojima's on vacation. As soon as he comes back, he's going to be working on this.
Right.
But they're not saying that. They're just like, no, Silent Hills got canceled, and there's no news about anything else going on. So that just leads further to speculation. Like, dude, what the hell are you guys trying to hide?
And
Like,
and who knows if he has a non-compete clause going on where he can't, apply for other game companies and work for them, for X amount of time. There could be something like that within the contract
probably
going on.
Realistically, like if they gave him like a severance or something for them to separate ways, it's probably they have something in there. That's a good point.
I mean, needless to say, this whole situation is it's really interesting. And I would love for one day to hear exactly what went down, what happened. Like,
yeah,
who was upset with who? I mean, is there going to be like a Steve Jobs biopic, but with Kojima? I mean,
no,
maybe in Japan.
probably, but yeah, I mean, Del Toro's even come out and said, I have no idea why they canceled
Right.
Silent Hills.
Right.
So, like, what the hell is going on over there?
And seeing Crimson Peak, I mean, we know that Del Toro can do horror, and he's a good director, so I would have faith in him to carry through with that IP.
Yeah, I would have loved to see his monster design for Silent Hills.
Oh, that would have been great.
That would have been absolutely amazing.
But so, I mean, with everything going on, you have to wonder if the cancellation of Silent Hills had less to do with the departure, not departure of Kojima, or it was just them clearing house, going, we don't want to do this anymore.
Maybe that's what it was. Who knows? Hopefully we'll find out some more information about it after they finally admit that Kojima's not on vacation. But that's hilarious.
God. Yeah, alright. Well, interesting to say the least. But moving on from that, some other somewhat nefarious news is Harmonix employees were caught posting 5-star reviews for Rock Band 4 on Amazon.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, these types of actions aren't necessarily foreign to Amazon. There's a lot of companies that pay regular Joe Schmoes to go onto Amazon and review products that they haven't used, but rate and review them just to get a boost in the popularity on Amazon, so more people directed towards their product and will read the reviews and hopefully buy said product.
Which makes perfect sense. I could totally see that as a plausible thing for companies to do. Because you have to nowadays to have a share in the marketplace. If you're selling a product, everybody looks at reviews. Like, the first thing I do, because I'm a very avid Amazon shopper, I look at the reviews kind of quickly and right. Okay, so this has 5 stars, this one has 3 stars.
Well, yeah.
And then I obviously still go into the extra step of clicking on those to see what they're kind of saying on those and seeing how legit it is. But a lot of people don't. They'll see the 5 stars, they'll see 3 stars, and like, oh, I'll just take the 5 star.
Yeah. One of the best, I guess, tips I've ever heard when it comes to online shopping and things of that matter is when you're going into the reviews and you look at them, you got the 5-star reviews, you got the 1-star reviews, and you have everything in the center. Focus more on the center of the reviews. 5-star reviews will just be people endlessly praising it without really looking at critically or just being people pay to give it 5-star reviews. And 1-star reviews are also usually from a very heated, emotional perspective and just wanting to shit on something. But if you look at a 3-star review, or the grade between this, usually something a little more level-headed and looked at in a critical manner.
That makes sense. Yeah, I like that.
So that's something to consider when looking at these reviews.
So how were they caught?
A suspicious Reddit user was looking at the reviews, and he noticed one review from someone who claimed she was a new fan of the series, kind of delved into her profile, and it turns out she was the legal and music coordinator for the company. So she helped dealing with all the licensings and stuff like that. It just seems like further investigation concluded that there was a project manager in there. A consultant and senior designer also gave their markings for the game and rated it 5 stars. So, yeah, that's kind of messed up.
How many companies do that and don't get caught, though?
Oh.
Like, realistically speaking, I bet you a large amount of companies do that for stuff.
What? Well, a movie company did a few years back. I'm trying to think who it was. Maybe Fox. I'm trying to think of for what movie. Maybe it was Passion of the Christ. But I remember
That was a few years back.
maybe it wasn't Passion of the Christ, but it was for a somewhat popular movie, and I want to say Mel Gibson was attached to it. I don't know why.
Okay.
I want to say that, but they were hiring people from their company to do. You know how like for some commercials they'll have like sneak peeks, and they'll have people giving reviews of the sneak peeks, like, "Oh, this movie was great, it's so much fun."
Right.
They hired they hired a couple. It was 2 people who worked for the company and happened to be of African American descent to talk about the movie because they wanted to have more diversity in people, quote unquote, review the movie.
Right. Okay.
And speaking and giving it praise.
Makes sense.
So, I mean, this is obviously nothing that's new to the industry or other industries. It's stuff that happens, but when you get caught, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty funny. Yeah. So, have you read any like reviews about the game? 'Cause I don't know anything about it. Has it been good? Has it been welcomed?
From what I heard, I've listened to some talk about it, and from what I hear, they said it is a good game that pays tribute to the rest of the series. It does nothing new and defining. It's just kind of something there to keep it on its legs and keep it functional and keep it working. Like, it's nothing great, it's nothing new or inventive. It's just for people who are fans of it and people who may want to be new fans of it. It's good. It's a good thing to just kind of make it still alive.
Okay. So then it's just them putting a next gen game out.
Yeah,
basically.
it's a fresh coat of paint on something you've already had and experienced with, of course, new songs, and you're able to bring in all your old library as well,
Which is huge. I mean, thankfully they did that.
Yeah. So for all those people that dropped so much money downloading DLC after DLC with all these different songs, it's good for that. But from what I've been hearing, the new Guitar Hero actually is more revolutionary in those types of games.
Okay.
So maybe this is them trying to get a one-up on their competition.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, they both came out at similar times.
Right, and the concepts are so similar that you kind of want to stand out.
Yeah, realistically, you're picking one or the other. I mean, because you can't have both, because then you just have all these damn peripherals again.
Right, yeah, just plastic guitars sitting around your house.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that debacle when it was in the height of its popularity, where people had Rock Band sets and Guitar Hero sets, and it was just shit everywhere.
And you just saw a bunch of them just gathering dust on store shelves.
Yeah, I mean, there was just tons there, and it overfilled the marketplace at one point. So I'm kind of surprised that they're still around and they're still doing like very similar things.
Well, I mean, they were smart about it in the sense that they actually gave it enough time.
Yeah, that's
between
true.
releases, because that was the problem with them. It was Rock Band 3 and then Rock Band 4 Rock Band 2 then Rock Band 3 shortly after that.
Mm-hmm.
And it once again, just it flooded the market and it was just ad nauseum at that point. It was just too much. So, I mean, it's been a good amount of time for them to come out, but...
Yeah, I mean, we moved on from plastic instruments to plastic little action figures like Skylanders,
yes.
Amiibos.
All the Toys to Life stuff.
All
And
that stuff,
That
yeah.
bubble's going to pop soon, I feel.
It has to. There's just way too much of it right now. It's oversaturated the marketplace. And Lego came out with like $100 starter set. It's like, Jesus.
And I haven't heard anything about that.
You know what? No. I've not heard any... like.
It's still Skylanders, it's still Disney Infinity that you hear about, and Amiibos as well. I mean, Amiibos to a lesser degree just because I feel like a lot of people still don't know what the fuck Amiibos are.
Well, they're not as cool as Skylanders or Disney Infinity characters.
Not at all.
And then they just keep on releasing them in limited release to cause people to want to go buy them. Because they're going to have that option, and they're only going to have that option like once, and then once they're gone, type of thing. So we know about that. We've talked about Amiibos in previous podcasts, and
You kicked that habit.
my problem with it. And yeah, I was happy with that. I'm really still happy with it. But yeah, the fact that they're putting the reviews out there is obviously nothing new for anybody in music or any type of media industry. It just happens all the time. The fact that they got caught with it, they got caught.
Right. And to be somewhat fair in this, one of the employees that got caught, he said, I'm sure even if I did not work for Harmonix, I would still give the game 5 stars. So, I mean, I would like to think that this guy is being genuine. You know,
He has to say that. It's the company. He works
Right.
for the company. He'll be like, yeah, realistically, I would have gave this 2 stars, even though I gave it a 5-star because I work for the company. He's not going to say that. The second that comes out, he's like, you said what? You
Right.
idiot. People get fired for posting shit on social media all the time.
Yeah, it's, at this point they're at the mercy of their employers because they want a job.
Right. They have a nice gig. They're not gonna bash their company just to try to make themselves sound like they're...
And at that point they'd probably just jump over to Red Octane and start working for the Guitar Hero people,
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right, moving on from that story, finally, coming October 28th, Batman Arkham Knight will finally relaunch on the PC.
Why is that big news?
Because when it was initially released back in June, the PC version had a lot of issues to the point where after like 2 days they took it off of Steam and people weren't able to buy it because it was so buggy and so just not capable of working that they're like, all right, we cannot in good conscience have this as a consumable product.
Which is crazy. Like, don't they realize that before they even launched it on Steam?
Oh, I'm sure they do realize it.
But they launched it anyway?
The game was delayed twice, I believe. And so it's like,
I mean,
well, we have to get it out, so...
for the most part, your console versions worked. Just just launch it for the consoles and say, you know what, PC's delayed.
Right, exactly what they should have done. What Rockstar did when it came to Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
They knew it wasn't fully functional for the PC, so they delayed that until it was time for the remastered editions that came out on the next gens.
Because that's what they should have done.
Right. I mean...
So
well, it's Rockstar, and Rockstar is very committed to their games, and they will spend as much time as they need on it to make it a good game because they know they're going to make money hand over fist with it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that they chose to do that and release it anyway, knowing that it was broken, only to have to pull it a couple days later because of all the gripe and shit. Like, don't you foresee that happening? Like, oh, by the way, you can't even play this game because it's so damn buggy.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been getting so many stories like this. I mean, let's look back at Master Chief Edition of Halo,
Which is still never fixed.
right? I mean, from what I understand, the matchmaking is a lot better than it was, but still not very, very reliable at that point.
Yeah, you know what? We talked about broken games coming out, and it is really frustrating the fact that developers are pushed by the publishers to hit a certain launch date, and whether the game's ready or not, it's coming that day that they originally designed. So it's unfortunate from that regard. But this story is different to me because they still had the console versions working, where they could have just, like I said, they could have just released those and waited on the PC version. So this is a little bit different than like the Halo story or Drive Club when that came out completely broken.
Oh my god.
So there's just games that come out completely broken, but this, they had the ability to still launch and just delay the PC element to it. But they didn't. They chose to launch it all, and it shot them in the foot.
At that point, they're also ostracizing what I feel is a growing side of the market, because I feel like a lot of people are going more towards the PC.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, granted, consoles are great for the general consumer and things like that, but I feel like just more and more PC is becoming a thing again.
PC is becoming a thing because of like the ability to play. You could constantly upgrade your system and just play these games, but then the games are coming out on Steam at a fraction of the cost of what they're coming out on the consoles.
That's true.
So like I've always been interested in that, and then you have like the Steam boxes coming out where you can actually get these Steam games now for a fraction of the cost versus the consoles. I've always been a console gamer my whole entire life. I've always chose console over that. I still own all the consoles now. So it hasn't really affected me as much. I think, Alex, you're more in tune with that because you do all of it. You do console, you do PC.
Yeah.
And you have a good, I guess you would have a good voice because of that.
Yeah, and I'm getting that Steam Link key or whatever where you get to stream from your computer onto your TV.
Okay.
And that's going to be coming out for the next month or two. So I'm really excited about that because I have, a huge Steam library that is waiting for me to get on and play. It's just, playing at my computer is not always the most convenient tasks.
Right.
So I'm excited about that and the opportunities that will produce, and it's to the point where I'm ready now to upgrade my computer a bit more so I can handle some of the more higher end games like Fallout 4, which will be coming out. I mean, I'm going to be playing it on my PC. I already know that I do need a better graphics card for that, so it's just like, well, if I'm going to get a better graphics card, I may end up getting more RAM as well and just upgrading everything or some just major components to do that. But
the other part of that too is like the easeability of using controller now for computer too.
Oh yeah, I've more often than not I've been using my Xbox 360 controller on my PC to play games.
Yeah, I mean the ease of use for that has gone a long way. Where in the past you were really kind of having to only use like either your keyboard and mouse or like specialized controllers for certain games or whatever. Right. But now you can play a lot of these games with, your 360 controller.
Well, with the Steam Link thing, I'm getting the Steam controller as well.
Okay.
So, hopefully that will also just make everything more accessible for me when it comes to playing my PC.
In reality, I mean, that for me, who's not been a PC gamer, the option of having that a controller is huge because I've always been scared of mouse and keyboard. I've never gotten it down. I've never been good at it. Never really took the time to get good at it. It's definitely a unique experience playing mouse and keyboard.
Yeah. And
having that ability to do it, like people just playing PC games their whole entire lives, it's like second nature to them. Mm-hmm. Where like, for me, a controller is second nature.
Yeah. And, it all depends on the style of game that I'm playing on the PC. I would not play a first-person shooter with a controller on my PC. I would prefer to stick to the mouse and keyboard. Mm-hmm. The same when it comes to like an RTS or something like that. That's those aren't my favorite genre in games. Every once in a while, I will play one, and it's more intuitive when it comes to using a mouse and keyboard.
I feel like MMOs have to be mouse and keyboard too for the most part.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you'd have all your button configurations.
All your hotkeys and things like that. Yeah. But I mean, when it comes to Grand Theft Auto 5, which I was playing on PC, I just felt more comfortable using my controller for that.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, but I mean, that being said, even though Batman Arkham Knight is going to be re-released on the PC, I still feel more comfortable playing it on a console rather than the PC at this point.
Yeah, I wonder what the buzz is going to be for that. Like, do people still care? Are people still excited about it? You know, because like
yeah.
you have the Christmas games coming out now.
Mm-hmm.
So have they moved on from Batman and they're just going to be like, you know what, we're just going to play these other games?
Right, and I feel like most gamers who play on the PC will also have at least one of the major consoles, whether it be Xbox One or PlayStation 4. So if they were really that eager to play the game, they would have played it on there, unless they already bought it on PC, at which point they've been
Patiently waiting.
Yeah, very patiently waiting.
Moving on to movie news. Super Troopers 2 finally begins filming. You know, they did the Kickstarter for that.
That's right. I completely forgot about that.
And they wanted like $2 million to do it, and they got that right away. I think they ended up with like around 4.5, right around that right now.
Wow.
So they started beginning filming. It's kind of weird though. Like, think about it. Super Troopers came out 15 years ago.
Oh my god.
Right?
That is wow.
That is a long time ago. Like, I didn't realize it until I started reading the story. I'm like, holy shit, 15 years ago?
Oh. I was just a babe when that came out.
Man, that's crazy. Super Troopers is like a classic. People still love that movie to this day. I love that. I can still watch it and still enjoy it like it's watching it for the first time.
It's so quotable.
Yeah. I just love that movie. So, super excited. Super Troopers 2 is beginning filming. That's pretty awesome.
What have those guys done recently?
I think Jay's done directing and stuff in random like TV shows and a lot of different things. And I'm sure Broken Lizard is doing a whole bunch of like comedy stuff, like maybe stage stuff.
Or
whatever.
That
You know, so they might not be in the movie aspect, but they've been doing a bunch of other things that they do.
Because did they release anything since Beer Fest, movie wise?
Not off the top of my head, I can't remember what they've done since then. But yeah, I still see their names popping up here and there, doing random stuff. So they're definitely still around. They're definitely still part of their troupe and being awesome. So super excited for Super Troopers 2.
Yeah, that's it. It should be funny. We're hoping, at least.
Yeah, I think.
I hope this doesn't have kind of like the Anchorman quality to it, where it's
been so long. That was such a perfect movie.
Right.
That the second one just didn't have the chance.
Exactly. Like, I would hope for the better, but I totally see that happening in this.
You know what? Honestly, I think that I have faith in Broken Lizard more than I have faith in somebody trying to recreate Anchorman and trying to make it relevant.
Because Broken Lizard is kind of like their own little thing, and I feel like they're not as bound to producers and studios as something like Anchorman would have been.
That's the thing about it that I think that's different, because they don't have they're doing their own thing. They've crowdsourced this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they're doing it. They're not letting a studio be like, no, you know what, this joke you should say it this way. Mm-hmm. They're just doing their own thing. You know, Farva's gonna be Farva.
Oh man, it'll be good to see Farva again. Yeah,
it's gonna be good. So the biggest story this week was obviously the Force Awakens trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when that showed, you and me were on the internet on Fandango on MovieTickets.com for like a good hour and a half just trying to get tickets because the servers were overwhelmed after that thing.
Oh yeah. For whatever reason, certain I guess theater companies decided to wait until the trailer aired during Monday Night Football to release tickets for it. Some of the other theaters are like, you know what, we're going to do it that day, we're just going to do it early, so it doesn't matter. And stuff was still crashing during those early people, but then once the final trailer hit officially with Monday Night Football, all hell broke loose. And we obviously watched the trailer. We were waiting. We watched Monday Night Football for the trailer to come on. And then immediately, both of us were trying to log in four different ways. Both of us using phones and laptops and computers and trying to get onto the servers. And we just couldn't.
I'm sure that did not help the servers at all. Two of us using 4 different means to try to get onto that. Yeah.
Yeah. So needless to say, we did get our tickets.
Yes.
So...
And eventually, it was after I gave up and decided to go home. When I eventually got home, and I'm like, I'm going to give it one more shot.
Right.
Which was, 30, 45 minutes later, to the point where a lot of the traffic died down, and it was late enough at night that people were going to bed and giving up.
Yeah, they're like, you know what, we'll just do it in the morning, so whatever. But yeah, Fandango actually reported that it had the record-setting first day and sold 8 times the amount of the previous first day record sales.
Oh, 8 times?
8 times, and that was
God.
that was the first Hunger Games movie.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I was surprised. I would think that would go to something like Harry Potter.
Yeah, no. According to this, it sold as many tickets as it did on the first day of sales for the previous record holder, and that was the Hunger Games.
Wow.
So, yeah, 8 times.
Congrats.
Yeah, which is expected. I mean,
so this movie's going to make its money back, is what we're saying.
I think it's safe to say this money will probably be in the black. It'll make some money.
Okay.
But I think it's crazy how Star Wars is. The fandom behind Star Wars.
Well, I mean, and it's just growing with every generation. You have the initial generation that loved it and watched it so much, and there's still fans of it to this day, and they've passed it down to their kids, and to the point, it's to the grandkids. Like my brother is still a huge fan of Star Wars, and now he has a child that I'm sure he's going to want to pass it along to him. So it's almost 3 generations at this point that are wanting to see the movie.
I mean, it's transcended bad times.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, the prequel era, like we were.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up on Star Wars. I was in that era of Star Wars heightened popularity and everything. So of course, when they announced Phantom Menace coming out, I was the same way about these trailers. Like, oh my God, they're going to show the trailer in front of this movie. I immediately bought a ticket for that movie and wanted to go watch that trailer because I wanted to see it. And then it came out on the internet, and I had to watch that trailer over and over again. I was going nuts. I was in Star Wars craze. Obviously, we understand what happened with the prequels, but that was bad movies. I mean, that was a bad era for Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that now they've announced a new one that we kind of just like forget about the prequels. Like, okay, Star Wars is coming back.
Yeah.
We're forgiving. We're so forgiving.
We are, but you've been seeing a lot of those articles lately where people are like, hey, we know you guys are excited for the new Star Wars movie, but remember how you felt when Phantom Menace was coming out? Kind of manage your expectations. Don't get burned again. I mean, I've been seeing those articles on various sites lately, especially after this trailer.
I think part of it too, though, the differences behind it is because we've seen J.J. Abrams' success with reinvigorating Star Trek and what he did with that franchise, and it's not necessarily Lucas at the helm anymore. It's smarter people making better decisions who are not stuck in their ways and scared for people to give their opinions to him because it's the almighty George Lucas.
Right.
He's let it go, and now we can
not
see.
letting his ego get to him.
Yeah, now we're going to be able to see someone's interpretation with the characters that we grew up with. We see Han again, we see Leia and Luke. It's like, holy shit! Now it's in somebody else's hands. So you kind of have to have that open optimism, like, oh man, this is what we've been wanting. We didn't necessarily need the prequels, obviously. We've always wanted 7, 8, and 9, and now we're going to have that opportunity. And it's like, here it is. It's time. So yeah, I'm stoked. Obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I know we didn't really talk about, but still, the trailer looked fantastic. Like the cinematography to it was incredible, and we got that from the first official trailer as well. We got that from the teaser trailer. Like, it just looks gorgeous. It looks like it's shot well, and it looks like it's being done right.
And to Abrams and his camp's, I guess, to their ability to hide stuff in this day and age, to have not a lot of the story online revealed, to not have a trailer that's 3.5 minutes long, pretty much giving you the whole entire movie.
Oh, God,
I mean, think about it that way. Because how many of these movies trailers you go see? You're sitting in a theater for 20 minutes before the movie that you go watch starts.
Mm-hmm.
So for those 20 minutes, you're watching these trailers, and a lot of these trailers give you the movie. Essentially, you know all the plot points. You know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's just bad trailers. Like in the day and age of trailers, they're supposed to like make you intrigued and like I want to know more about this.
They're supposed to entice the audience. And so, yeah, they're doing it really smart with this. They're giving us just enough to keep us interested.
Yeah, so like you don't know who these characters are. You don't necessarily like you see like okay, that guy's dressed up as a stormtrooper. Is he a stormtrooper? Like, is he in disguise like they were in the original Star Wars? Like, this is awesome. This is very cool. So yeah, you don't get a lot from the trailers, and even for people who like to be spoiled for stuff going into it, it's hard to find some of this information.
Such as you?
You know what? Normally, I read everything because I don't care. With Star Wars, I've been kind of cautious about stuff. I do know Abrams is known for his misdirects in the media, and I think that like this week, you had a lot of, I wouldn't say they're misdirects, but there's a lot of people just trying to get clicks. Based on.
Oh yeah, the clickbait.
Yeah, we're definitely in the golden age of the clickbait era right now. So anything Star Wars related is an immediate click. So if you can make your title of your article halfway interesting, people are going to click the shit out of that and get hits. So you have a lot of speculation. You have a lot of stuff going on. I think some of it's probably Abrams misdirects, which is awesome. So I'm going into it not knowing anything. I have ideas and hopes of like what might happen, but you know what? I'm just excited. I can't wait.
No, I totally agree with you on that point.
All right, something else that I'm actually excited for is coming out. Let's see, the trailer. It's coming out November 1st during The Walking Dead, and that would be The Preacher.
Okay, yeah, because I know you've been reading the comic series. I read it some years ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I'm currently reading it because Alex recommended it to me, so I'm like, all right. I finally read Lock and Key. I really enjoyed that series. So I'm like, I need another series that I want to read. And I know Preacher was one of the ones that's always been on my list. 99 Bullets is another one. Or no, 100 Bullets. 100 Bullets is another one that I want to read probably after this. But I'm just excited reading it. And I'm still towards the beginning. I'm probably like on volume 2 of the graphic novels.
Okay. Or there's 60 issues to that total?
There's something like that. So I'm not even halfway through the series yet, but from what I've read, it's really been interesting, and I like what I've seen. So that they're actually coming out with the movie that everybody talks about, or no, sorry, TV show.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that. So the first trailer is going to debut during The Walking Dead on November 1st. So,
okay, yeah, I'm excited about that myself because I was a fan of the comics. A really unique concept and good story. I liked it. It was really compelling. So yeah, no, I'm excited quite a bit as well.
Yeah, so we'll see what it is, and hopefully report back that on the next Lost Level episode. Jumanji
in like 4 or 5 months.
Well, we're doing them more regular.
Okay,
we better.
Okay,
we have to. I like doing these. These are fun, man.
Yeah,
We're
they
just
are.
Sitting around bullshitting about whatever and getting lost in the conversation. So, Jumanji is scheduled to be remade for. I see a sigh and a shaking of the head
man,
by Alex
seriously?
here. It's scheduled for Christmas of 2016. That's next year.
That isn't.
That is like 14 months away.
Yeah,
That is close.
there.
And there's no script. There's like no director. There's no acting. There's like nothing in place. In a movie like Jumanji, this is supposed to be not necessarily a direct like retelling or remake. This is just going to be like a re-envisioning of the original book.
Still,
But you would think that'd be heavy in post-production efforts.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're not going to use a bunch of live animals for a lot of things you see.
Right. Like, so it would probably have to be CGI heavy like the original Jumanji was with
Right.
Robin Williams. So yeah, I don't see this happening.
Yeah, it does not seem plausible by any spectrum of the imagination.
No,
Like,
100% completely agree with you.
if they do pull it off, it's going to be trash. I mean, if they do make that date, it's going to be trash.
Yeah, because they're just force feeding it,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just trying to hit that date, kind of like what we talked about
But
with games.
what's the incentive of getting out Christmas 2016? What are they going to be up against? What are they trying to gain from it?
That's the thing. I didn't have the foresight to look into, okay, what is actually coming out in 2016 that they feel like this would be a good time to hit. Is there not that much coming out that I'm not, like, I haven't paid attention to it? So I have to definitely do some research on it. But overall, like, okay, is there a need or a market for a next Jumanji or a new retelling of the story?
No. Like, I mean, I enjoyed the original movie for what it was. I remember liking it as a kid, but it was never anything that I loved and felt the need to go back to in my adulthood. And it's nothing that I feel like if I were to have kids, I would want to show it to them. Like, hey, kids, I grew up watching this movie. It's just kind of there, and it's something I feel that would be lost to history.
And you know the other part of that too, like, I agree. I really like the first Jumanji. I do want to watch now. And that's been, like, a long time since I watched it to see how it kind of holds up for me personally. Because I'm interested. Because I think I've forgotten enough of it at this point where I'd be watching it again almost for, like, the first time.
Right. Oh, no, definitely. I agree with that.
So I definitely do want to watch it again. But I think the other part of it too that might hinder this idea is the Robin Williams factor.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Definitely.
Robin Williams was great in the original Jumanji. So anybody who is going to watch another Jumanji, not necessarily, like I said, a direct remake of it, but just a retelling of the Jumanji storyline or whatever, they're always going to have Robin Williams in the back of their head.
Right.
So
yeah.
it's going to have that black cloud over it, no matter if this is like the Citizen Kane of Jumanji movies.
Which, to note, hasn't been remade yet.
Valid point. Yeah, even if it was that, though, it still would have that dark cloud over it, I feel.
Oh, totally. I mean,
Audiences, anyway.
Yes. We are no strangers to movies being remade. I mean, we see that all the time, but it is so rare that it's a movie being remade with a star that has passed so recently. I mean, if you look at movies like True Grit, okay, it was originally starring John Wayne, but I mean, John Wayne is such a highly iconic figure that was in the past and before my time that watching that movie, I did not look at that movie going, I really prefer John Wayne in this. I really preferred his portrayal of this role. So, I feel like Jumanji is at least more recent enough, and the meme of Robin Williams is still within our psyche that it's going to be hard to disconnect that.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And it's just weird that they're trying to push it that quickly. I mean, we see remakes all the time. They announced a Big Trouble in Little China remake coming out, and
Oh yeah.
with The Rock. And then Kurt Russell's recently come out saying, "Yeah, go for it, man. Like, it's cool."
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, like, totally. Like, he's a cool guy. Like, but like, we recognize him from that movie. Obviously,
Right.
Kurt Russell's had a fantastic career.
They were both in Furious 7 together.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, go for it, man." I mean, that's great. So I don't see this. I don't know. We've talked about remakes. We've talked about sequels. And it's just.
But this is really bizarre considering the time frame in which they want it to be done.
Yeah, it's completely weird. But yeah, speaking of another movie that's coming out, Die Hard 6 was announced.
Holy shit.
Despite the I would say critical disappointment or
Oh,
universal disappointment.
Yeah, it's a universal disappointment
With
pandering of
the last one. So then with this one, they're like, all right, you guys weren't really happy with the last one. Die Hard, we feel, is still a franchise that will make money. So we want to make this, and we're going to make it a prequel.
yeah. Which everything that they've done with the Die Hard series, making a prequel makes the least sense out of it all. Like, going to Russia was laughable.
Mm-hmm.
Making this a prequel is just fucking asinine. because the appeal of the first one was this Joe Schmo cop who really had not much of a history with being this quote unquote action superstar. You know, this cop hero, you know, overcoming odds and thwarting a terrorist attempt.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense because I want to see John McClane. We've seen his arc.
Yes.
We're like, you're right.
Die Hard, the original Die Hard is the John McClane origin story. There is nothing before that seems like it would be worthwhile talking about. At the very least, making a movie out of.
And then you're changing the whole franchise by making him an action star before Die Hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it takes away, as you just said, what made Die Hard great. He was just a normal person, kind of thrust into that.
Right.
But now they're going to try to make him an action star before that, because how else are they going to do it? They're just going to make you're going to make a 2.5 hour beat cop movie, where he just
is this going to be like Training Day?
Like I don't know what they want to do with it, but it's supposed to be intertwined with current modern day John McClane too. So maybe it's like reflections on the early days of John McClane, and then going to current, you know, John McClane with Bruce Willis.
Okay.
So that's what Bruce Willis is. He's come out and said that he's happy with the way that they're thinking of doing this prequel.
Okay. When you describe it that way, it does give it more legs. Does not necessarily mean it'll make it a good movie or a movie that I want. Fuck, I'm going to see it regardless. I know I'm going to see it.
Oh, we're going to review it. So yeah, we're going to.
Even if it wasn't for the review, I know I would see it just because I am that way about the Die Hard series. But yeah, that's okay. That's an interesting take, but still, it doesn't. I'm not excited for it.
No, because it would be. I don't know. I don't want him to. Wait,
you don't want him to phone in another John McClane role.
There's a lot of things wrong with Bruce Willis right now, where he's just not engaged necessarily with his acting career. He just would rather be doing other things as opposed to being on set and just doing his performances.
He doesn't have to. The dude is rich at this point. I don't think he has to subject himself to these movies that he doesn't want to do anymore.
But I don't think he's doing it because he has to. He just does it to do it, I guess, because he's probably bored.
But if he's bored, do something different. Like, I mean, that's why we got him Moonrise Kingdom. That's why we got him in Assassination of a High School President. And these other quirky roles that he's done. Roles that I would like to see him in more of.
Yeah, I don't know. In anything action related, he's just really phoned in over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, whether it be G.I. Joe or Expendables or whatever the hell he's done, it's just like, all right, yeah. So you're just there. But yeah, I don't have any faith in the franchise anymore. After the last one, there's just nothing to it. They do say in the news story there was no word on his kids reprising their roles, so maybe the studios were like, well, the kids didn't work as much as we would like them to work. Jai Courtney playing his son, because I know obviously they were trying to carry on the franchise with his son taking the role over into the action hero status.
That didn't work out well.
So obviously that didn't work. The audiences didn't think very highly of it, so they're scrapping that idea and they're kind of just saying prequel.
Right.
Let's do a prequel.
But I mean, I feel like Mary-Kate, was that? Is that her name? Yeah. I feel like her character was at least a little bit more relatable because she wasn't the action star buddy next to Bruce Willis. She was, she was a more real person.
Yeah, she was a tough. She had the John McClane tough attitude, but she wasn't an established, like, professionally trained person by any means. Mm-hmm. So if they made a new Die Hard and made her the star where she's thrust upon this crazy Nakatomi Towers situation. That would be more plausible than making a fucking prequel.
Yes, but I can't see that happening.
No, it won't happen.
Yeah, and it would be more plausible. I still don't think it would be a good idea.
Why not? Why wouldn't that be a good idea?
Just because I don't think that Mary-Kate... I adore Mary-Kate Winslet. I think she's adorable. I think she's a great actress, but I don't think she could pull off a role like that.
Not an action role?
No. I mean, that's I mean, I hate to typecast her, but that's like a role for Michelle Rodriguez or someone like that.
Yeah, but then you're expecting it from her. I would
Yeah.
almost like to see somebody like a Mary.
Uh,
Like I would
Okay.
rather see someone like that, like who is adorable, and you don't think of like as an ass kicker.
so kind of like Lara Croft in the new Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I'd like
Okay.
to see that.
And you know what? I actually, yes, I can kind of see that now that you put it that way.
So I would rather see that as opposed to like as you said, a Michelle Rodriguez, where you're just expecting her to just play this badass character, this action heroine. Where I would rather see Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Mary Elizabeth, yes, thank you. I was saying Mary Kate.
So I'd rather see her doing it, and I would feel that is more believable, and that would also be a great callback to the original Die Hard.
It would be. But
So-
that's not going to happen.
No,
so.
that won't happen. We have the original our origin story now, going back and forth in time. So we'll see John McClane writing parking tickets, and sitting there with the speed gun. Because realistically, that's what it should be.
Yes. That'd be great.
Moving on. Opening this weekend was Gem in the Holograms.
That 80s classic cartoon.
The 80s classic cartoon that I'm surprised had enough following that people are upset with John Chow, who directed the movie, and were just upset the whole entire time about it, like giving him death threats and being racist towards him.
Seriously?
Yeah, like people on the internet were just giving him a whole ton of shit for remaking or for making this movie, and it just makes no freaking sense.
No. I'm not laughing at the fact that this person's getting death threats and racist remarks tossed towards him. I'm laughing at the fact that people are absurd enough to do something like that.
It's a 80s cartoon
Yeah.
about a female band that wears like makeup like Kiss.
Right. Well, I mean, well, let's look at it from another perspective. Remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when it came out that they're not mutants, they're aliens, and the shit show that ensued from all the fans at
Okay.
Michael Bay from that.
True.
So I mean, you're going to have the diehard fans, you're going to have the people that get upset at
But-
this.
Gem and the Holograms doesn't have the fan base that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had. Like you didn't have Gem
Oh,
marketing. You didn't have these toys. You didn't like.
Yeah.
You
That's
weren't
true.
like it wasn't. You didn't have any Gem and the Holograms NES game where you're stuck in a water world that you can't get out
Look
of.
at the fucking seaweed. The fucking seaweed.
Seriously, fuck that game.
But yeah, no, I see where you're coming from that, but it does diminish the fact that there were still the hardcore fans of that. Because I remember when it was announced that they were making a Gem movie, I saw a few people on my Facebook feed being like flipping their shits, like, yes, I can't wait, this is going to be awesome. Like, there are those fans.
How many of those people actually watched Gem in the last 20 years?
I don't know.
Zero. Probably.
They're Facebook friends. It's not like I talk to them.
But like realistically speaking, though, it's like they watched something in their childhood, and they're looking at it through their childhood eyes, like, oh man, I loved that in my childhood. If they watched it again today, would they still love it the same? I don't. know.
Would I still love Mutant Turtles the same? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. It's
'Cause-
just weird. But the fact that like they were giving him death threats.
All right.
So fans of the series did not support this movie this weekend.
Did anybody support that movie this weekend?
Like,
Did anybody go see it?
No, it barely made any money. I don't have the final box office yet because we're still recording it. It's Sunday, so I haven't seen box office tallies yet. But it was already announced that The Martian retook #1 spot this weekend.
That's crazy because that's like how many weeks old? 3?
It's been a few, yeah. And then it retook it because just nothing else is out there that people are wanting to watch.
Oh, it is. Well, I mean, once again, it is the autumn lull in movies.
Yeah, I mean, you had Gem open this weekend. You had The Last Witch Hunter, which we're reviewing, open this weekend as well, a Vin Diesel vehicle. And I'm just surprised. Like, I didn't expect Jem to be number one by any means, but the reason I brought it up is just like, dude, what the hell is wrong with the internet, man?
There's a lot of things wrong with the internet. It's the as everyone says, the best thing and the worst thing to come out of the internet is the fact that everyone has a voice. So, the people who have been oppressed over the years and don't have a voice can now speak up, but also the dumbasses and idiots who are just hate mongers and shitty people also have a voice. It's a double-edged sword at that point.
And it's like, you know what? He tried to do whatever he could with it. He had to modernize the story the best of his ability. And you know what? He tried.
Yeah.
If you liked Jem, like legitimately liked Jem, give it a fucking try.
Right.
You know? Don't go saying racist shit and giving death threats to the guy. Whatever. Stop. It's dumb.
Yes.
It's just fucking dumb.
Yeah, there's no arguing that it's dumb, but yeah, I am by no means condoning the fact that these people are offering the death threats and making the racist remarks, but at the same time, I understand how fandom can get out of hand because we've seen it in the past with Mutant Turtles and other things.
We see with a lot of things.
But to take it to this extreme is outrageous.
Totally outrageous.
Totally outrageous.
But you don't know what I'm talking about.
You made that reference earlier, and apparently it's a Jem reference, which I did not get because I never watched the series.
I'll play you the theme song after the podcast.
I'm sure you just have the whole Jem library on your computer.
No, I have something
now.
called YouTube.
And
I could type.
You download every episode of the old Jem cartoon series and you watch it as you go to bed.
It's on TV. Like I saw that it was on TV.
And you
the other
fall
day.
asleep watching it. Okay.
No,
that's adorable, Christopher.
YouTube.
Christopher,
God
that's
damn
so
it.
cute.
I hate you. Stop! I'm gonna give you death threats, jerk.
I'm sure you've done that before.
But yeah, guys, knock it off. It's dumb. It's a cartoon. At the end of the day,
Stop being children. Stop being so precious with your childhood.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, nostalgia is great, but it also can be detrimental when it gets too serious. Like, yeah, something's going to happen that's not going to be something that you like. They're going to remake something, and you're just going to have to deal with it and move on.
Yeah, essentially that's it.
You
don't like it, don't watch the fucking movie.
And obviously people don't because they didn't watch it this weekend.
Right. Go watch more episodes on YouTube as you fall asleep like Christopher does.
Shut up. All right. So Yahoo reported their earnings, and they mentioned that they lost $42 million on their content, on their exclusive content.
The exclusive TV show content.
Yeah, so their TV show ideas didn't come to fruition as they hoped.
Oh.
Which is unfortunate because so obviously the big story, Alex and I are huge fans of Community. We listen to Harmontown, the Dan Harmon podcast on
Harmon being the creator of Community and things like Rick and Morty.
So we are definitely fans of his, and when we got the final season of Community and it was on Yahoo, like, sweet, great. So obviously we watched it.
Oh yeah, we consumed that really quick.
And I thought it was a great ending to Community.
Very tastefully done.
Yeah, and it was good, and Yahoo gave us that opportunity. So I'm always appreciative of Yahoo being a Community fan. And because of Community going on to Yahoo, I also learned of a new another show called Other Space.
Right. You mentioned it, and I always meant to go and watch it, but I just never did because I am a shitty person like that.
It's a great show.
Is it?
I loved Other Space. And I'm disappointed by this because now I probably won't see another season of Other Space.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Because I was totally looking forward to that because that was, to me, I really enjoyed Community. I really enjoyed Other Space. The other movie exclusive they had was Sin City Saints, which I didn't watch. But the other two I definitely watched and I loved. And I knew Community was going to end just because of like contracts, and I knew there was too much going on there that they wouldn't create a new season. And I felt that Dan ended Community the way that it should have ended.
Mm-hmm.
It felt clean, it felt good, it felt right, and it felt like time to move on.
Right.
So that was great. And Other Space was this great new show that I was really intrigued with, that I want to see more of. So I'm like, all right, cool. Yahoo's making this push. And then they announced, no, actually, we lost 42 mil.
Yeah, that sucks. But like, in the same regard, it does not have the powerhouse that Hulu had. I mean, Hulu had all these other TV shows, while Yahoo is just focusing on these three, and it's really hard to get anything going just off of that, because you're not going to get a lot of word of mouth going on for it.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, with Hulu, I think, are those shows successful? I haven't watched any of the earning reports.
I feel like they are. I mean, even if they're not super, I assume they make some money off of that. Because, I mean, The Awesomes is on their second season, which is that animated superhero one. And I can't think of any other Hulu series going on.
There's Deadbeat from the guy from Reaper.
Oh, yeah.
Which I watched an episode of. I enjoyed it. I thought it was decent.
But, I mean, I feel that's not their main source of income.
No, there's several different shows that they have. So
right.
I don't know if they're getting it from subscriber base. I don't know what the revenues are.
Yeah.
I don't know if those shows are helping them generate subscriber base or what.
But the point being is Hulu has a lot more options for the consumers than just 3 shows. They have their exclusive shows and everything else that they have through all the other networks, be it ABC or NBC or Comedy Central. I mean, I probably subscribe to a dozen or so shows on Hulu.
Okay.
And I watch those regularly, but that's 4 times than 3,
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think that it was a good experiment. I think from a viewer audience standpoint, it was successful because I watched those shows. I enjoyed the experience. But at the same time, does it make me think about Yahoo Screen more as a active place to watch more content for something? And the answer is kind of like no, not really. I don't think of Yahoo Screen.
And that's the issue.
And
as much as I loved Community, I forgot that the 6th season was going on just because I forgot Yahoo Screen was a thing.
Yeah, and that's probably what the problem is. It's just unfortunate because, you sit on your couch, you're like, oh, what am I going to watch? Obviously, you go through your default. If you have cable, you're going to look at your cable channels. If Netflix, Hulu, Vudu, if you have your movie collection on that, or whatever. There's so many other options that you're going through before you reach Yahoo Screen.
Exactly. It is definitely an outlier than all that other stuff.
Yeah, so that's the unfortunate aspect to it. But yeah, they lost 42 mil, which is unfortunate, but I do commend them for taking that chance and trying something different.
And I thank them for giving us the last season of Community.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I will always be thankful for that, and Other Space, because I really like Other Space. So you definitely need to check that out before they shut down Yahoo Screen, if they do, or whatever, because 42 million loss. I don't know how much that is to Yahoo nowadays. Probably more than it used to be in Yahoo's heyday.
I'm sure AOL couldn't afford to lose that much, though.
Yeah. So it is what it is. But that's our show this week.
Okay.
So how can we reach you?
You can follow me on Twitter. My name there is Alex Sandberg, AlexSanberg, or you can email me directly at the website, alex@lostlevel.com. What about you, Chris?
I am on Twitter, @CalmIntensity. I also have an Instagram page. It's Chris's Calm. I'm on that most frequently. And all of this contact information, all of our social media links is on lostlevel.com. In the upper right-hand corner, you can link directly to our iTunes, our Facebook page, our Twitter page, as well as YouTube, which is awesome. We've been updating that on a regular basis, so definitely subscribe to that channel. You'll get some exclusive content on that, as well as the additional podcasts that we've been putting out. And then we've been doing a lot of movie reviews as of late. We just put up 3 today. After this recording, we're going to do another one. So,
watching a lot of movies lately.
So we've been watching a lot of movies, trying to get that lull, the gaming lull out.
Yeah, and we're going to start picking up on the gaming season.
Yeah, I mean
That's coming
Halo
around.
Halo comes out this week, so I'm definitely going to be playing some of
Fallout
that.
shortly after that.
Then Fallout comes out and it's going to ruin our lives because that's all we were going to be playing for the foreseeable future, probably.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's going to take up a lot of time. But yeah, we'll be talking, and we're also going to be doing these Lost Level episodes where we talk about games and movies, and doing that on a more frequent basis. We have a couple different podcasts in the pipe
Yeah.
in the pipeline. Hopefully coming out soon. We're still working on some of the
Kinks.
kinks, the formalities, and making sure that it's the best possible content available before we actually put it out. So that's what we want to do. We'll have further announcements shortly with that. But with that being said, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.